What up? It's your boy Luca Dayz. You're watching Team Focus Radio with my boy So Focus.
Yeah! Yeah, you know what it is, Team Focus Radio. I'm your host, So Focus. I'm currently back in New York with the one and only Luca Dayz. What's going on, man?
What's good?
Appreciate it. Thank you for letting me come out here, you know what I mean?
Most definitely.
So let's get into these questions real quick.
Yeah.
First of all, where you from?
Man, that's a bit of a, it's not really a straightforward answer for me because, you know, I've been living in many different places throughout my life, you know what I'm saying? So I've lived a portion of my life, sizable portion of my life in Singapore, in Germany, and over here, of course, you know, so it's like, I like to consider myself as a cosmopolitan person.
Right.
So it's yeah, that's how I would say it, you know what I'm saying? I'm a product of the world.
Right. So being from all these different places, you're in New York right now, I'm
Mhm.
assuming. So what's the difference between being in New York and being from different places?
I mean, there are like big differences pretty much in each and every place in terms of culture, technology, infrastructure, etc. So I try to learn wherever I am at that certain period, you know, I try to learn from the people, of course.
Right.
I try to learn from the technology, from the infrastructure, the architecture, etc., etc. So pretty much every place is a different vibe,
Right.
and it's a different situation, and it sort of, you know, reflects on itself. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So yeah,
So talk about music, because you're a singer, right?
that's correct. Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Man, I mean it's a long that's a long story, to be honest, you know what I'm saying? But just to give you like a brief you know, look into my career and whatnot, you know, so I first started recording music and sort of recording my own content when I was about 12 years old, 12, 13. So I had my, you know, little whatever equipment I had that at that time. I used to record my first demo, and I remember I sent my first demo over as a 12-year-old to some record label over in Switzerland. I can't remember the name of it, but I can remember that I had a Yahoo email at that time.
Yeah.
It was I believe it was like booty93 at yahoo.com. It was not. So I sent this demo over, you know, and of course I didn't hear back because it was whack, of course, you know what I'm saying, like with this little equipment, whatnot. So that's where it really got started. And professionally, I believe I was about 16 when I started like working with some bigger names and stuff like that. I was in the studio and all. And at that time, I had the opportunity to get in contact with this gentleman called Troy Taylor. He's a Grammy-winning music producer, and that was like the pivotal point in my life and in my career, you know, because I was going through a lot at the time. I was 16, 17, whatever, and I was pretty much homeless during that whole period for like you know, for like 1 or 2 years at least. So it was like a really big moment in my life, like, you know, certain situation where like it changed pretty much everything, you know what I'm saying? That was like a sign from God or whatever.
But one thing I always ask singers are, there's so many singers out there, like what separates you from everybody else?
Honestly, man, that's a tough question to answer, to be honest. I believe it's just because I feel like every artist is in a certain way, like they are built from their own experiences and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I believe in my case, like I said, like everything which I've been through, and you know, all my music is based on, you know, real life situations and stuff like that, you know.
Correct.
So I don't like literally take just any song and just do it for, you know, purely for the purpose of doing a fucking song, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I do a song, it has to have some type of meaning and connection to me. so that the music stays authentic. I feel like a lot of artists these days, especially the younger artists, they just try to ride the wave, and like it's all like sort of generic, you know what I'm saying? But I try to keep whatever project or music that I do, I try to keep it as authentic as possible. And I believe that's definitely what sort of differentiates me.
Right. So is there any artists out there that kind of inspires you to do music? Or you look up to?
I mean, I mean, growing up, I'm an R&B singer, so I definitely looked up to R. Kelly. So, man, Kels.
No comment. No comment.
No comments, you know. So that was one person.
Growing up.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, I had a lot of like soul music. You know what I'm saying? Like all like it's a lot, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of the type of artists that I like and look up to. I wouldn't say like I really look up to them type of thing, but I sort of listen to their music and try to understand the elements inside that. So I try to see the whole picture. You know what I'm saying? Not just listening to them and saying, hey, he's great, I want to do music like him. Not like that. I try to understand the whole, whatever that's behind them, inside them, etc.
Right. So now you're on your own label right now.
Correct.
And it's Bentley Records. So how did you start your own record label?
That's another interesting story. I'll try to keep it brief.
Okay.
So initially I was, like I said, I'm 25 now, so 5 years ago, 20, or when I was about 19, to be honest, I had this situation where I had a pretty lucrative deal on the table.
Correct.
So for any artist, that is like the big dream, right? To work with a certain label or whoever, So I don't want to mention any names right now, but I had this situation when I was about 19, and that was something which I really worked towards, and I worked hard for. And one thing led to another. I had bad management at that time and stuff like that, so it just didn't work out at the end. And I was pretty, you know what I'm saying, I was feeling bad about it, that it didn't work out and shit. But then I decided it's time for have another avenue for me to sort of release my own music. And that's where it all got started, to release my own content. So that's way to do that. And then along the way, I was probably posting stuff on Instagram or whatever. Somebody hit me up and he was like, bro, hey, you got this label going on, man, sign me,
Yeah.
Like, he was from like some other country, you know what I'm saying, like in Europe. And that was like the first artist I signed at that time, you know what I'm saying? But he's not signed with us anymore. Long time ago.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But he was like the first artist that I signed at that time, and it was like he was just a regular artist, but with years, we've been blessed to work with some of the biggest artists in the world, and sign a lot of great artists.
But there's a lot of other labels out right now. So what separates your record label from everybody else's?
There are a lot of things that would come to my mind, but just to name a few things, it's pretty much the way how we deal with the artists and the type of contracts which we have with the artists. So ideally, one of the main things about Bentley Records is we give you your copyrights and your masters, so you can own your art, you can own your content, which I believe is, I don't understand why anybody would have to sort of give away their content, to give away your music. That's your art, right? So you're an artist. I don't understand why you would have to give that to a label or for anybody. That is your art, that's your music, you know what I'm saying? So that is like one of the main things. We give the artists ownership, and I believe that's one of the main reasons why a lot of artists are working with us right now, because they see our vision in the long term, how that will sort of, giving this ownership back to the artists is going to change the game.
Definitely.
So.
With so many artists able to get signed to labels right now, how do you go about signing an artist? Like, what qualities do they have to get signed?
Right. So there are two sides to the label. To be honest, we have like the exclusive artists who are exclusively signed to us.
Okay.
So these artists, of course, they're like we're looking for established artists, of course, people who's got have won like major accolades in the industry or work with big artists, and they already have a name for themselves. So that would be like the bigger artists. So it's a no-brainer for us to like find that type of talent and sign them. But at the same time, we also work with a lot of up-and-coming artists. So we do a lot of artist development, a lot of other types of non-exclusive contracts with certain artists. So for those artists, it's pretty much all comes down to the music. As long as you have decent music, we're ready to give you a shot.
So if you got good music, you'll work with them.
Definitely, absolutely. But like I said, like just as it is to me personally, also for the label for Bentley Records, it's a lot about the type of music. You know what I'm saying? The quality of the music. We really look into like whatever that we do, right? We really look into like the quality of whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's like very important. So if you make good music, then we're looking for you.
Definitely. So you also have other businesses outside of just Bentley Records. Mm-hmm. I see something about like a Bentley Models and things like that. Mm-hmm. Can you speak about that a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So Bentley Models is like it's a Bentley Models New York to be specific. That's a pretty new venture which we started this year. Yeah. So it's still very much a startup, which is which we're building our portfolio right now and stuff. We got a decent amount of models that we're looking at.
Correct.
So that's still coming up. But over the years, I've done a lot of other business ventures outside of Bentley Records. So, for example, I have a private jet company called Luxo Air, and which is, we are a pretty decent player in the market, I would say. So, we have a lot of clients from Hollywood and from all around the world, business personalities, etc. So, and we have a luxury travel company called Luxo Travels, which is based out of UK. That's another venture, and then we have Mix TV, as I was telling you about. It's another venture which we started this year. It's a TV station broadcasting lab worldwide, and it's also available on all major platforms and stuff. And I also got a clothing company based out of Singapore called XCon. So there's quite a lot of ventures business-wise, and yeah.
First, I have to commend you for being only 25 years old, being the CEO. That's amazing. Glad we can do that. So my question to you now is, what advice would you give to a lot of these young guys that kind of want to be in your shoes? What can you tell them to be a CEO, to have ownership?
Yeah, man. I gotta keep it real with you. I see like if you go to LinkedIn, for example, you will see a lot of people calling themselves CEO.
Right.
But calling yourself a CEO and being an actual CEO is two very different things. You know what I'm saying?
Self-employed and a CEO.
Yeah.
Two different things.
Word. So I couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to discourage anybody. You gotta believe in yourself. You gotta build something first and foremost. But at the same time, the first thing is like in my case, like I said, I started literally from ground up. I was literally homeless like when I really got started with my career, with my music, and etc. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's circumstances are different. I believe the most important thing is whatever that you do, don't do it just for the money, right? Do it because you love doing it, right? You have to be passionate about it. Money is a byproduct of whatever that you do, right? Do it for your passion and also think about using whatever that you're creating or your platform to create opportunities for other people, creating jobs, etc., etc. You know, so thanks to what I got going on right now, you know, we have a lot of people employed, and if we consider the production chain, there are other people, a lot of people who's benefiting from it. So these are the things what you should, if you want to start a business or if you want to get started with something, you know, these are the things which you should think about rather than think, you know, I'm going to make a lot of money, I'm going to become rich. That's the first mistake that a lot of people make, right? So don't do it for the money, do it because you want to create an impact in the society, you want to give back to the society, you want to do something positive, and I believe that's the first thing, what you should think about.
And so what are you working on right now?
A lot of projects, man. I mean, in terms of music, I got some really huge projects coming out. I have one project coming out hopefully by next month. I don't want to mention who it is. It's a very big artist, I would say. And I also have two pending projects, one with Sean Kingston and another one towards the end of the year with Pitbull. So, but before that I believe an even bigger record coming out very soon. So that's probably musically that's like the biggest projects that I'm working on right now. But outside of music, you know, with the business stuff. Also, I'm working with great European superstar. Her name is Tina Carroll. So we are working on her project as well. So which I'm very excited about. We're introducing her here to America. So I'm really intrigued about that project as well. But from a business standpoint, definitely we're launching a new product with the label next year. So I'm actually telling you're the first person to hear about it outside of the label.
Exclusive. All right.
Word up.
Right here.
Yep. So we're gonna launch this in Jan 2020.
Right.
So it's gonna be a huge year for us, and this platform is it's gonna be something disruptive. So it's gonna change the music business for years to come. And we have already started with the project, and so you know there's a lot of things to be done behind the scenes, but we're confident that it's going to be ready within 6 months.
So for listen, people out there, how can they get in contact with you on social media?
Yeah, so I'm pretty much available on all types of social media platforms at Luca Dayz. You can go and search me, but I'm probably most active on Instagram. So I try to, you know, I'm try to spend more time outside of social media, making real life relationships with people.
Okay.
You know, you also try to do that as well. So, but you know, Instagram is pretty much the best place to connect with you. Yeah.
Definitely. They can also hit me up at @SoFocusLife on social media. This interview is coming out on SoFocusMedia.com. And honestly, this is one of my most inspirational interviews I did so far, man.
I appreciate it.
I'm humble. You're only 25 years old. I'm like, dang, man, I got work to do, man. You know what I mean? But I'm definitely inspired by you. Thank you for having me come out, man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, bro.
You know what it is. We out of here, man. T-Focus Radio. Yeah!